Former member of the Memphis rap group 3-6 Mafia has been found. Gangsta Boo, whose real name is Lola Mitchell, considered a pioneer for female rap in the 90s.
We begin with breaking news at 10. Beloved Memphis rapper Gangsta Boo of 3-6 Mafia.
But it's believed she died from a fentanyl overdose.
And I guess she was supposed to go home the night before, but either the plane got canceled or she got, she missed the flight or something like that. So she decided to stay one more night. And I guess her and her brother were partying. And, according to some reports, I guess they had taken some, which ended up being laced with fentanyl.
Dale Lawrence is a longtime friend of Gangsta Boo and tells WREG that the beloved rapper had recently become depressed prior to her death.
She lost her father, and that was a very big blow for her. She was a daddy's girl, and it was many nights I prayed with her and just talked her through her grief. So I'm glad to know she's at peace.
It's the year 2022. The world is recovering from the pandemic and finding back some sort of balance. Artists finally have the freedom to let their creativity shine without being locked down or restricted from performing in crowds. December 31st, 2022. The Queen of Memphis, Lola Mitchell, was one such artist enjoying her life. Her alias, Gangsta Boo, was known in the industry as one belonging to a 90s legend that paved the way for female artists of the future. That final night of the year, Gangsta Boo, along with her brother Marcus Curtis, were out in Memphis, Tennessee to enjoy a show by fellow Memphis legends 8-Ball and MJG.
8-Ball and MJG, they wasn't with them, but they went to their show. They had a show in Memphis down here, and Boo, her brother and them went to the show.
Gangsta Boo was also there for more than enjoying the floor. She was also carded to perform and give fans the music that made her respected in hip-hop. Her final posts online were clips from that venue before the show kicked off. She had one last conversation with her lifelong partner, Emmett Flores, before getting into performance mode. Flores would end the conversation by telling the love of his life, Gangsta Boo, he loved her and to be safe. She would share a heartwarming gesture, sending him a picture of them together back on New Year's in 2017. And he would send her back a picture before they finished conversing that night. They were to be reunited on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, when he was supposed to pick her up. But that day would only arrive for one of the pair. Gangsta Boo would lose her life before they could meet once more. The concert energy filled, and the night was moving along without a hitch. But that was about to change as things were about to take a dark turn. Somewhere along the line, Gangsta Boo and her brother decided to indulge in some paraphernalia. Everyone has their vices, but some vices come with a higher price than others, a physical price. Gangsta Boo and her brother would allegedly partake in what was supposed to be coke, but within this batch, they got what was rumored to be something mixed in. Reports would state that her brother would actually overdose that night and had to be hospitalized. Luckily, his system was able to be flushed, and he was revived from that life-threatening experience. Gangsta Boo, however, who was also allegedly partaking in the paraphernalia, wasn't as fortunate as her brother. Sunday, January 1st, 2023. New Year's Day. Officers responded just before 2:20 p.m. Sunday to a person down call to a home on Rains Road in the Whitehaven neighborhood, and unfortunately, it was there they found Lola Mitchell, aka Gangsta Boo, unresponsive on her porch and was unable to resuscitate her. Her other half, unbeknownst to what had occurred, was watching a game while he was awaiting Tuesday's arrival, where they would be reunited. But that reality was about to be shattered with a direct message on his Instagram, which would turn his world upside down, informing him of Gangsta Boo's passing.
I talked, I was just talking to her the night before she performed with 8 Ball and MJG, and I told her I loved her. I told her to be safe. She sent me a picture of us on New Year's from 2017, and I sent a picture back, and I was watching football the next day, and someone hit me up on Instagram. That's how I found out.
It was a moment that broke him to his very core. She was his heartbeat.
Man, she was just really, she was so funny, dude. She's funny. She's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And we used to, like, dance, and it's crazy, man. I just can't believe I'm here, man.
Just like that, it went from enjoying the thing she loved most, music, to becoming one of the biggest losses in music history. At the time, it was unknown what might have been the reason for her passing. Onlookers speculated an orchestrated hit or controlled substances. Clips of the police presence began flooding social media with everyone in disbelief of what they were witnessing. Soon, news outlets globally had one story on their screen: the passing of the hip-hop icon, Gangsta Boo.
Well, about 20 minutes ago, we saw a van with whited out windows pull up. They loaded a body into the back and it took off. In fact, if I step out of the way, you can actually still see right in the front of that police car. They've taken down the tape there in front of the driveway.
The music industry collectively felt the pain of her loss, and it was evident in the outpour of condolences and praise for the lost legend. Her close friend, Daz Dillinger, recalls the message she sent just the night before. She sounded so happy, full of life, just showing love.
What's up, y'all? Want to give a great condolences to my homegirl, Gangsta Boo, Lola Mitchell. She had just called me last night. These are the messages she left for me.
Thank you, Daz. Like, I didn't expect that, but it's like formation. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Thank you, Daz. I love you.
Love you too, Lola. Another message.
You one of the most goofiest gangster I know. I love you, Daz.
But at the end of those messages, there were hints foreshadowing what was around the corner the next couple hours of her life. Gangsta Boo tried to finish a sentence, but stopped and uttered the statement, "No, dude, I'm high."
Send me your number so I could text you my new number. My number, actually, I could give it to you. No, dude, I'm high.
Her passing was unexpected. She was lively, always fun, and bringing smiles on everyone's faces.
I can steal your gift, lady. Okay. I was explaining to MJG that I'm putting a filter on this. Just, you don't look bad with the filter. Yeah, mate. Yeah, look at the video.
At the time, Gangsta Boo was making her return to music and made it known in a Billboard interview that just occurred not long ago in December 2022. When asked about what's next in her future, Gangsta Boo made it known she was working on a new project called The Booprint and was hopeful it would be ready for release in the first quarter of 2023. Gangsta Boo was collaborating with A-list producers like Drummer Boy and expressed her excitement to working with the new generation of female MCs coming out of the city. At the time, her latest single, Sucker Free, gave fans a taste of that Gangsta Boo they loved until the project's arrival. Gangsta Boo was about to continue her legacy as an all-time great MC, but her passing snatched it all away. Investigators would reveal there wasn't yet an official cause of death, but they found narcotics, and unofficially the reason for her passing was allegedly due to an overdose caused by fentanyl. Her former 3-6 Mafia crewmate, Crunchy Black, who was like a brother to her, would later do a Vlad TV interview where he appeared to confirm details surrounding her passing with the addition of some pretty shocking information as to how she received laced fentanyl. According to Crunchy Black, the substance she took, which had the fentanyl mixed into it, was coke.
8 Ball of MJG, They wasn't with them, but they went to their show. They had a show in Memphis down here. And Boo, her brother and them went to the show. And whoever they got the from, they end up being, like you said, laced with fentanyl.
This is where some very dark details began to emerge from the interview. Crunchy Black, knowing how loved and respected Gangsta Boo was in the city of Memphis, was puzzled as to who would give her coke laced with fentanyl. From his perspective, he believed it had to be someone who was out to do her wrong and had a personal vendetta to harm her.
And I was kind of puzzled off that shit because ain't nobody in Memphis really would give Gangsta Boo fentanyl. So, you know, for me, I don't give a who you is or what you claim you is and how you claim you are. I kind of feel like somebody else put that on her, you know.
That was an eye-opener to how Gangsta Boo's final hours came to be. But what he said next narrowed down the speculation to a single individual. An individual the average persons would not normally suspect to be capable of something like that. Crunchy Black suspected her brother, Marcus Curtis, had something to do with purposefully giving her the coke laced with fentanyl.
Because, you know, her brother, I just feel like he did some foul shit.
Why would he make such a serious allegation? Crunchy Black would go into further detail of what was happening behind the scenes between Gangsta Boo and her brother that led to his alleged ill feelings towards her. Turns out, Marcus Curtis blames Gangsta Boo for his past incarceration and was upset she couldn't always send him money. He went as far as saying his sister set him up. According to Crunchy Black,
the nigga used to be mad like a motherfucker because she wasn't able to send him money all the fucking time. It wasn't really, they tried to blame the shit on her and say, Boo set that shit up.
The incident Crunchy Black was referencing dates back to July 23, 2009, where Lola Mitchell, aka Gangsta Boo, and her brother were charged in connection with robbing a Dollar General store in Olive Branch, Mississippi. She was charged with conspiracy to commit armed burglary. Reports state that a male suspect confronted a female clerk at gunpoint outside the store. The female clerk and the male clerk were then ordered to put the cash from the safe and in the register in shopping bags before being ordered to lie down on the floor. Curtis was arrested on December 4th by the Shelby County Sheriff's Department and charged. According to the Olive Branch police, the weapon used was tied to another crime, which led to Curtis's capture. Mitchell, aka Gangsta Boo, turned herself in to Olive Branch authorities after a warrant was issued for her arrest. She was released on a $100,000 bond, while Curtis was extradited from Memphis and booked into the DeSoto County Jail on a $100,000 bail. Gangsta Boo would give a public statement denying any involvement with the accusations and distance herself from her brother Marcus Curtis, as she stood unwavering of her innocence. If Crunchy Black is to be correct, this is the incident that got him jail time, which Marcus Curtis allegedly blames his sister Gangsta Boo for. Crunchy Black, however, states that Gangsta Boo isn't at fault, and he was the one who did what he did instead of putting time into his music career and building something as his sister did.
To a lot of us and say, hey, I'm going to do this or do that. And I'm like, nigga, don't go do that shit, nigga. You know, give yourself some time. A lot of people who know how to rap, they think they're gonna be famous the next day. You get what I'm saying? Nigga, it doesn't work like that. That time you would have spent on working on your craft and getting to where we at right now, you could have been somebody. But you want to go rob Family Dollar and then try to blame it on her and get mad at her. I just think he did some foul shit.
If there's anyone that played a role in purposefully lacing her coke, as the detectives continued investigating the circumstances around her passing, many would recall the moment that could have been a changing point in her life that may have avoided this fate. Gangsta Boo and her partner were cast members on the reality TV show Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition. In one episode, the psychiatrist on the show, Dr. Ish Major, will call a meeting with Gangsta Boo and her partner Emmett Flores. The reason was that he found a bag of white substance, which he concluded was some controlled substance, and questioned Gangsta Boo if it belonged to her. Gangsta Boo would become defensive and get up to leave and be done with the show due to the allegations of it being hers. Dr. Ish Major would then ask Gangsta Boo if she had problems in the past with substance abuse, and seeing she was defensive, he decided to open the floor for her to get help by handing her an envelope, which he said were contacts that could help if she ever needed it. Gangsta Boo would later appear in one of the leading hip-hop podcasts, Drink Champs, where she blasted DJ Ish Major for his antics and stated it was all a setup and she doesn't have a problem with substance abuse. Paying closer attention to something she said while expressing her feelings on the matter, it appeared she wasn't denying using coke, but more so that they lied saying she left the bag there. At a certain part, she states when she was accused, she was wondering if something slipped out or if they found $1 in the laundry. For reference on what the statement is relating to, lines of coke are often inhaled through a rolled up bill. Gangsta Boo further expressed that she's a grown woman, and even if she was to do something, it would be tucked away in a private place, not just out in the open like that. Maybe if the doctor hadn't used the opportunity to also boost the show ratings and had that meeting off the record away from the camera, Gangsta Boo would have been more receptive to his gesture of helping her overcome her substance abuse. But with the approach he took for the entire world to see, it's understandable why Gangsta Boo reacted the way she did. A little more tact by Dr. Ish Major, and maybe, just maybe, Gangsta Boo would have accepted assistance and be here today. If you're fighting with substance abuse, please reach out to a professional for help. Your life has a greater purpose, and there are people who love you. Life is hard, and sometimes we all fall into darkness. Gangsta Boo had recently lost her father and fell into depression. So that could have increased her dependency on coke in order to cope.
Dale Lawrence is a longtime friend of Gangsta Boo and tells WREG that the beloved rapper had recently become depressed prior to her death.
She lost her father, and that was a very big blow for her. She was a daddy's girl, and it was many nights I prayed with her and just talked her through her grief. So I'm glad to know she's at peace.
The music industry lost a true pioneer, a good soul. At the very least, let her passing be motivation to seek help in overcoming your trauma and depression. Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo.